A lot of people in New Orleans are still dealing with the aftermath of Katrina. We have a lot of women who aren't even in care. You know, they're not even going to the doctors. They're not taking care of themselves.
And women, traditionally, they take care of their needs last. You know, they take care of their families first. That's not just a New Orleans thing.
Women, especially women of color, are very affected by HIV, and the numbers among women of color, especially African Americans, is rising.
It's such a huge problem that it's not just HIV, it's about poverty, it's about lack of education, and it's about HIV. You don't have one without the other most of the time.
I was pregnant with Jemani when I was diagnosed, and I thought I was gonna die because the lady told me you have AIDS and you're gonna die. So she was a nurse, so I figured she knew what she was talking about. So I came home and told my mom and my two sisters, and I started planning my funeral.
I thought it was a death sentence right then and there. I mean, I was like ready, okay, I don't want to be skin and bones when I die. I'm healthy now, I look healthy. I just want to take me some pills, go to sleep and never wake up, and no one has to know.
I was mad. I was confused, I didn't know nothing about it, but when I found out, I was denying it. But then I thought about it, I was like, life is too good to try to go destroy it because you got a disease, you know?
It's very, very hard for a woman to accept that she's positive. And I can only speak from a woman's viewpoint because that's the population that I deal with. The first thing they say is, how could this happen to me? Because as we all know, nobody wants to say the things they've done. Nobody wants to admit that they've had a past.
After a while, I said, well, maybe I deserve this because I was out there, I was a drug user, I was ratchet, street word ratchet, you know. I was terrible, you know. I did it all. Been there, done that, all of it, you know what I'm saying? So I felt like me having HIV shouldn't even come as a surprise to me, but it did.
I used to use drugs. I'm a recovering addict. But the first thing they do with drugs, I shot up. I never shot a needle in my own. So that is not how I became positive by using drugs. It's the things, the behavior I did to get the drugs.
A lot of people don't understand. They only do is they see you using drugs, but they never stop to ask, why are you using drugs? And I used to use drugs as an escape, as an put me in my own little world, because I was so hurt by everything else. My reality hurt so much that my drug use put me in my own little fantasy world. So when I found out that I was HIV and I couldn't use drugs because it would only deteriorate my system more, it made me deal with reality more, and that made me hurt more. But I had to come to the terms of it. I had to do it.
I've been in a lot of presentations, and I'll ask people, you know, how many of you think you're at risk for HIV? Nobody raised their hand. How many of you have kids? Everybody raised their hand. Well, that means you had sex without a condom. So you were at risk. You just didn't pick that person who was positive, you know, and they don't see that. They don't see that.
Nobody done sat down and talked to me about it. My mama, she sat down and said a lot of things about disease, but she ain't mention nothing about HIV. And, you know, so when I caught it, that's when I started hearing about it. So I went to my mom, I said, how come I'm just not starting to hear about it and nobody didn't tell me about it?
Way before I was diagnosed, I could remember ACT UP. You know, I could remember them going up to Capitol Hill on stretchers and walkers and wheelchairs, and I can remember them saying silence equals death. And it's like, we're still being silent about it.
You know, people was ashamed of HIV at first. People was ashamed to talk about HIV at first. It was a hush-hush thing. They don't understand the HIV education. They don't understand how you get HIV.
I see when I first caught it, I was in school. People used to look at me and look through the class and just look at me and say, oh, she got that gangster stuff like that. That's how they say it out here. they sit down and talk about me like it's just, you know, like it's funny, like, oh, she have AIDS, she have HIV, and you know, it's not funny.
I have friends that I refuse to tell that I'm HIV. You know, I really do, because I know their understanding level will drop to 0 and they will push me away.
My mom had a problem. It was, I was gonna get, she didn't know. And it was to carry out the paper plates, the paper cups, the forks and everything, the bleach water when I go to our house, and it hurted me.
If I yawned, cover your mouth. Make sure you cover your mouth. Look how if you cough, you know, come on, get away from her. You know, you don't need to be around her. If the baby would come and sit on my lap, put that baby down. Why are you holding that baby so much? You know, like they would just, they felt like by me being HIV, the least, if they just touched me, or if I breathed on them, they were gonna contract the disease. And that made me feel really bad because I knew better. And this is my family who was supposed to be there to support me. And here they were shunning me away. So if my own family would shun me away, what did I expect more from the world? You know, but my daughter and my friend, my fiance, they're the only ones who've truly and really been there for me.
I have a good support. I have a husband, which we not legally married, but we've been together 28 years, so that's my husband. He have said he's not positive. He accept me being positive. He accept me getting positive, becoming positive while we was together.
And my daughter upstairs, Aisha, and my son, Christian, they have been my crutches. I done had both on each own. And if I thought those crutches would have broke, I used to think sometimes they'd have broke. Lord, I'd think I'd have been buried a long time ago.
So now my children ask me all about my T-cells, my viral load. They know what everything means. They ask me what's going on, why you need to go to the doctor, why you took your medicine. So it's like, it's a family effort. Even though none of them live here in the same city I live in, they call me and worry about if I'm taking my medicine, doing what I have to do.
Before the hurricane, the pastor had been the pastor for 54 years. And he was my pastor for 25 years. You know, and the church always made me feel like they wanted to touch me. Come here, Sister Gray. Come and give me my hug, Sister Gray. And if I'm not there, if I'm not at St. Thomas, they're wondering where I'm at. They're calling me. My church always gave me, always made me feel like they loved me.
I got sick and I had bronchopneumonia and I had to go to the HIV clinic. It happened to have a period there where I was always shy and down, and I used to walk with my head down. And she told me, hold your head up, you have nothing to be ashamed of. So I have been in a women's issue group for over 10 years. It's about 2 or 3 of us that had been in the same, was in the group when I came. They didn't move away and move back, so that is a family there. But there's always somewhere, some organization, somebody that you can talk to. And it's not gonna go away, you're not gonna feel better right then, but you can live with it.
I didn't think I would never live to see 18 days, no, 18 years. I would never thought I would seen 18 years. So I know when I seen 18 months, I knew I was blessed. And to live to see 18 years, be 19 years this year, I knew that I was blessed. I knew I was a blessed woman.
I had 6 pallbearers, and every last one of them are dead. And then none of them died of HIV, you know. And that was like a wake-up call. As they started dying, it woke me up more and more. And it made me realize that I'm going to be here. You know, this is my 14th year living with HIV. Today, I don't even think about a funeral or all those little things that I thought about then. You know, it's more about living and helping other women learn to live, you know. When I was diagnosed in '94, I knew no other woman who was positive. And I was coming home from the clinic, and I can remember thinking that the news crew was going to be in front of my house waiting on me. I thought I was the first woman in the world with this virus. Didn't know what anybody else had until I went to the clinic and saw the women. So I vowed then that if I ever got the chance, I would make sure that women knew that there were other positive women, that it was somebody just like them. So when people get their diagnosis, I'm normally the one that they call to come and talk to them and tell them, I understand. I know how you feel. I was there, you know. I cried those same tears. I sat in that seat.
I call clients. I go to the hospital. I just talk to them. I can talk a client for days and days and days. I like just calling them, talking to them. Sometimes I get too close. Sometimes I cry. I cry when they cry. Sometimes I cry when they don't cry. Sometimes I just cry.
But I want us all to be like superwomen, put our cape on, and let's just go fly around and attack HIV. Can't do that. So what keeps me going is the women that we serve in this community, the people that live in this community, and my love for this city. And that's where you start. You start educating the community to understand that you can't get it from a mosquito bite. You can't get it from kissing. You can't get it from touching me. You can't get the ways you cannot get it, and then you tell them the ways you get it.
First, if you don't know your status, you should go and be tested. Because everybody you sleep with everybody they done slept with.
You gotta watch yourself. If you don't want to come out with a disease or having a baby, you gotta strap up, put on a condom, do something, you know. And my people kept telling me that too, and I didn't want to listen. So I did what I wanted to do, and look where I'm at now. I got a baby and I'm sick.
We got to go into the schools where the kids are younger. Can't wait till they get in high school. They're already having sex. Whether they tell you or not, they are, you know, because I was a teenager once. I know, you know. And we have to really get them young. The message has got to be that it can happen to anybody. We have to stop saying risky behavior and high-risk sex. Just sex. You know, to me, risky behavior is swinging from chandeliers and, you know, in the lion's den and doing some really outrageous things. But sex is sex. We also have to help young girls set goals. Help them negotiate condom usage. Help them to be stronger. You know, give them the encouragement to say, this is my body, and I have a choice, and today I choose not to do that. You're sweetie. HIV ain't the end of the world. Sometimes it's the start of a new world, but you have to be ready.
It's hard for me to even talk about it because but the reason why I'm doing this today with y'all is because I want people to see how it feels to have HIV.
And since I've been working, I just been feeling alive again. I really have. I really been feeling alive since I've been working. I feel like when I'm doing something for others, I feel like my life counts when I'm doing something for somebody else.
Sent me back to school. Never thought I'd go back to school. I always wanted to go, but never had the courage to do it. And then HIV said, you need to go, and I went. I go everywhere. I go out and I speak. I go to Capitol Hill at least once a year, and I'm talking to senators. I'm talking to congressional people. Never went to the president yet. You know, HIV has also taught me that you can't take it for granted. You know, when I leave the ladies that mean a lot to me, I tell them I love them, because you never know.
I'm finding now that I'm living life more to the fullest. Believe that. I don't take nothing for granted anymore. I enjoy each and every day now.
From where I'm at, from where I was when I found out 15 years ago, thinking I'm gonna die and using more drugs, and to where I'm at now, I know I can live with it. So I have grown.
I'm in a stage where I'm undetectable. Thank God for that. But it wasn't always like that. I had to get to this point. But I am undetectable now.
Being undetectable only means that the meds have suppressed the virus enough that it's not really messing with your immune system yet. And that's the hope of all positive people, that we can stay undetectable forever if possible, you know. You know, I'm still wanting to die at 90 in my sleep. I ain't giving up. And that's the main thing to positive women. Don't give up. Don't give up. The world needs you.
You should save your life. Save it for everyone you love. 'Cause they need you in their lives. Day and night. Day and night. You should stay. So stay alive. Love you and need you in their lives. Need you in their lives. They need you so much. Stay alive, play it safe, stay alive.